Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Neely from Neely's Astro here, and I just wanted to kind of give a breakdown of my equipment that I used on my last imaging session. I use a Rokinon 135 as my lens. I stop it down to a 2.8 so I can get sharper stars. I'm using a dedicated astro camera from ZWO, the ASI 533 Pro. I'm using a star tracker from Star Adventurer, the Star Adventurer Pro, and the Skywatcher tripod that I got from them. It's pretty sturdy, and I haven't had any complaints. I get pretty good images with it. First thing we do whenever I'm putting together my rig is I install the filter drawer. And I'm using ZWO's EOS filter drawer. It's for Canon cameras. This particular lens is made for a Canon camera. And depending on what your lens is made for, you'll have to buy the corresponding filter drawer that'll connect to the lens. All right, here we're just attaching the camera to the filter drawer, and you're just going to want to screw that in hand tight. You don't want to over tighten and mess up your threads, so just hand tight and you're good to go. All right, guys, this is the filter drawer, and I'm using Optolong's L Quad Enhance filter. It's a really nice filter. I get really nice results with it. I would highly recommend it. It's not as expensive as some of the other filters out there, but I get really good results with it. Also, normally I would never take the filter outside of the filter drawer while I'm outside. It's just me being paranoid. Normally my filter's already in the drawer, ready to go. I just don't want to have any mishaps, accidentally scratch it, but for purposes of this video, I kind of wanted to show y'all what it looked like. I'm using these USB dew heater strips from Newer. I use two of them, one on the filter drawer to keep the filter from collecting moisture, and then I also have one on the Rokinon 135 right on the focus ring to keep the moisture from building up on the lens when we're imaging. Here we're just adding the cable from the ASI Air Plus to the ASI 533 camera. And what this allows me to do is to hook the camera up to my iPad, which I'll be able to control all the settings, all the imaging session parameters, everything from my iPad. Here I'm just connecting power to everything. Everything needs its own power source. So the ASI Air Plus needs its own power source. The ASI 533 needs its own power source. The tracker I have it hardwired, that way I don't have to use batteries. I don't want to take the chance of running out of batteries in the middle of the session and ruining my night. So for a peace of mind, I have that hardwired. I know some of y'all are probably looking at this and seeing that cable management and just shaking your head, but it works for me. I have everything laid out, and I haven't had a mishap where it's gotten snagged up or hung up and prevented me from getting the shot. So it works for me, and as I get more equipment and more wires, I'm sure the cable management will have to come into place at some point in time. And here's just a little tip. I would recommend, if you're going to be using the ASI Air, to purchase one of these little repeaters, because the ASI Air itself does not have a lot of signal distance. So before, when I didn't have this, I was not able to connect to my rig through my tablet from inside my house. But as soon as I got this repeater, I was able to connect to my rig from basically anywhere in my house or on my property. So I would say this is a must-have. I mean, it's nice sitting outside and looking at the stars all night, but at some point in time, you want to go inside and relax and wind down and still be able to see what your image session is doing. So it's really nice to have. I can come inside and put my tablet beside my bed and relax and watch TV and still be checking on what's going on outside. And now we're all set up, and we're just going to wait for it to get dark, and then we can move on to our next steps for the night. All right, guys, the next step is to achieve focus. And to do this, I use a Batnoff mask that is specifically 3D printed for my Rokinon 135 lens. And what a Batnoff mask does is it creates these diffraction spikes when you're pointing at a bright star. So you point your lens at a star and you'll get these diffraction spikes. And what you want to do is you want to adjust the focus ring very slightly until you can line up the center diffraction spike dead center of the star. And once you have achieved this, you know you've got perfect focus. There's no guessing involved. And now we've come to polar alignment, and I use the ASI Air Plus to help me polar align. So the ASI Air Plus polar aligns by taking a series of photographs. You'll take your first photograph. You want to generally be pointing north as close to Polaris as you can get, and then it'll prompt you to turn 60 degrees and take another photograph. It'll plate solve that photograph, and then it'll give you corrections to polar align. So you just follow the corrections, you'll adjust, you'll hit refresh, and it'll keep refreshing until you get closer and closer until you can fine tune that polar alignment. And since we're doing wide field, you don't really have to battle this polar alignment. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not going to get perfect with these type of mounts. It's all manual. We're doing everything manually. So don't beat yourself up if you can't get it dead center. You're not going to. Wide field's very forgiving. So as long as you can get under an arc minute or so, you're good to go. All right, now we're polar aligned and we are focused. So our target this evening is going to be the Crescent Nebula in the Sadr region. And we were able to get 127 subs at 90 seconds each, which comes to 3 hours and 10 minutes of data. At the end of each session, we take calibration frames. Here I'm taking flat frames. We also include dark frames and bias frames. And here is our finished process image of the Sadr region and the Crescent Nebula. Here I provided a starless version so you can see the gas structure. As you can see, the 533 really performs well. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you guys have any questions on any of my equipment or setup, let me know in the comments. Maybe I make a video explaining more on certain things, or let me know what I need to improve on. I'm still getting started in creating things and trying to show y'all how I do things. So if you guys have any suggestions or want me to talk more on a topic, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot.